All right, Josh Allen out to make a statement. Is this the Chiefs' year? And what is going on in Baltimore? What is up, everybody? My name is Advance, and this is Advanced Sports Talk. Welcome to a special segment called Advanced Primetime. I'm working on the name. But in any case, we're gonna go over the primetime games for week 3. Let's get into it. Let's start with Thursday night's game. Miami Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills. And yeah, this was a pretty back and forth game up until halftime. Then the Bills started, the Bills pulled away in the fourth quarter. Miami tried to fight back, but Bills' offense was too explosive for them. So even with weapons like Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, it's too much for them. Let's see. The Bills ended up beating the Dolphins 31-21, and I know this was also a division game. And so Waddle and Hill, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill did end up getting, two touchdowns apiece, but they ended up getting a touchdown each. But like I said, it's just the Bills' offense. Let's see. Ollie Gordon had a rushing touchdown. Let's see. Tua's stats: 22 for 34, 146 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Josh Allen, like I said, out to make a statement. 22 for 28, 213, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. James Cook, 19 carries for 108 yards. Dalton Kincaid, 5 receptions, 66 yards, 1 touchdown. So, this, like we'll see what happens when the Bills get into the playoffs this year. Will they be able to make it to the Super Bowl? Some people pick them to be Super Bowl favorites, but hey, we're gonna go. And it's funny because 4 of the teams in this week's primetime game are actually NFC Championship favorites, or not, just championship game favorites in general. So of course we just talked about the Bills. All right, next we're gonna do the Kansas City Chiefs versus the New York Giants. In the beginning, it was not looking too good for the Chiefs. The fact that all they could come away with in the first half was 3 field goals to New York's 2 field goals. And the Giants was definitely in danger of upsetting the Chiefs until something went off. Let's see. What was it? It was a touchdown in the third quarter. Oh, and in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes and 3 seconds left, the Chiefs remembered that they had Kareem Hunt back on their staff. So, he had a rushing touchdown. Chiefs, love them or hate them, they find a way to win. Let's see. Patrick Mahomes, 22 for 37 for 224 yards and 1 touchdown. Russell Wilson, 160 yards passing, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. This is not good at all. Hold on, let me see. Who do they have on their roster? Oh yeah, Jackson Dart and Jameis Winston. I don't want to knock Russell Wilson because he's a stand-up guy, but it's looking like second half of the year, Russell Wilson showed up a little early. But last week we got MVP Russell Wilson. Now they still ended up losing the game, but still, like, that's the type of game that you needed to bring this week against the Chiefs. Because if they would have jumped out early on them, like Philly does, then the Chiefs would have eventually faded away. Or maybe they would have rallied back. Who knows? Maybe they only have that performance in Super Bowls. Oh man, but yeah, Chiefs beat the Giants 22-9. Now, the heavyweight game, because this game was a heavyweight. The Detroit Lions versus the Baltimore Ravens, and the score will have you believing that the game was sort of back and forth. It was tied up going into halftime, but the Ravens had to fight to get that second touchdown. Came out in the third quarter. Touchdown. Hold on, who was it? Mark Andrews. So after 2 weeks of being barely acknowledged, the Ravens decided to give Mark Andrews his more of a target share. So yeah, also he's not the only one that showed up. Rashad Bateman showed up too. Well, no, he showed up in recent weeks, but yeah, Mark Andrews had 2 touchdowns. So yeah, so Mark Andrews had a touchdown. Then Amon-Ra St. Brown, and in the fourth quarter is when the Lions just went crazy. Cause yeah, the Ravens definitely had a chance to win this game, but yeah, in the end, it's like the Lions just grinded that much harder. Yeah, and Lamar Jackson, actually both quarterbacks' stats was great. Jared Goff 20 for 28, 202 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Lamar Jackson 21 for 27, 288 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Man, David Montgomery had 151 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Now, if I had him on my fantasy team, he would have had like 50 yards rushing. Oh damn! Derrick Henry had 50 yards rushing, 1 touchdown and 1 fumble. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 7 receptions for 77 yards. Lucky 7. 1 touchdown. Mark Andrews, at least he caught 6 out of 6 targets for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. So, man, I don't know what's going on, but it's just that the Ravens just fumbled it in the fourth quarter. And me being from Baltimore, that hurts me to say that, even though I'm a Tampa fan. Like, yeah, so don't let the paraphernalia fool you. Like, yeah, I still want my home team to do well. My hometown to do well, I mean. So, but, yeah. Oh, D-Hop only had 1 catch? Zay Flowers only had 2 catches for 13 yards? Damn, like you would think that with the star power that they have on this team that, the Ravens would be going crazy with it. But nah, like, Lamar spreading the ball around. The only thing that I would say would be good with this is the fact that, the Ravens struggling like this is happening in the beginning of the season. And they got 14 more games to sort this out before the playoff. Well, actually, I think week 8 or 9 is probably the moment of no return. But in a division that's as competitive as the AFC North, you gotta compete. You gotta stay up to snuff. So I would say they probably maybe have like 2 or 3 more games to really iron this niche out, and before they can proceed. Now, with this being a loss to the Lions, it is a loss that is out of conference. So while it hurts, it doesn't really hurt that much, but nevertheless, man, it just it's just heartbreaking to see what happened, like to see the Ravens going out like this, and then with them, they was able to get that touchdown, that touchdown with 29 seconds left, but there was no 2-point conversion failed. Damn. I still think that they are a favorite. They are definitely they're definitely underplaying themselves. Actually, no, I can't say that because they won last week. And then they put up 40 points the week before. Just so happens that Buffalo put up 41 points. In this instance, yeah, they it was hold up. Lamar had 7 sacks. He took 7 sacks. So that right there tells me that it's the protection. And you know what? I watched the game and the line was getting pushed back. The pocket wasn't collapsing, but they was definitely getting pushed around. There was a lot of times where Lamar rolled out and Lamar almost ran himself into some sacks. So yeah, there was a lot of times where he rolled out when he didn't have to. But yeah, they gotta address that offensive line because that's gonna be a problem. Matter of fact, speaking of my championship favorites, let's see who they play next week. All right, so the Bills play the Saints. All right, yeah, that's a wash. The Lions play the Browns. This is saying that the Lions are 8.5-point favorites. I think the game is gonna be closer than that. You saw what the Lions did to the Packers this week, and and they got Micah Parsons. That's my other champion, one of my other championship picks. So yeah, let's see. And the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs play each other. So listen, if the Ravens do the same thing, actually no, scratch that. They can't do the same thing that they did this week. The Ravens need to physically beat down the Chiefs. We have this conversation every year. Like they need to, like the Ravens. If the Ravens get out on the Chiefs, how they got out on Buffalo, I think the Chiefs will fold. Now Patrick Mahomes is going to be Patrick Mahomes. He's going to do Patrick Mahomes things, and he's going to try to rally and bring his team back. But if the Ravens can hold tight and not turn around and put the defense back on the field repeatedly, then the Ravens should win that game. They should get over the Chiefs. Now, if there's a time to get the Chiefs, it's now, because the Chiefs are spiraling right now. Because yeah, we saw that they lost to Philly last week, and then they lost to the Chargers. So yeah, and look, let me tell you, the Chargers is the Chargers is playing out of their mind. Matter of fact, I think the Giants are playing the Chargers. So yeah, that's going to be a wash. But or maybe not. Maybe Russell Wilson will look at a calendar and say, "Oh wait, it's September." So so yeah, so maybe he'll rally back and win. But yeah, this game could either. This game is going to be a revitalization for one of these teams, but yeah, we'll see what happens next week. Yeah, Ravens, Chiefs, 425 next week, and damn. So if they're at 425, then that means that the Tampa game will not get flexed to 4 o'clock, because they have, let's see, the 49ers and the Rams. And the Raiders, yeah, they're they're pretty much locked in at the 4 o'clock game because of their time zone, the time zones that they play in, which means that the Eagles and the Buccaneers are going to be. That's going to be the most televised. That's probably going to be the televised game. The televised game for Sunday at 1 o'clock. So we'll see. But in any case, those are just my thoughts. What are your thoughts? How'd you feel about the primetime games? Put your comments in the comment section down below. We're going to chop it up and start this conversation. My name is Advance. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe on everything. I'm out.